Over the last 10 years, ladies and gents, I've built a network with purpose. It's not always about investing in property. It's about creating cash flow. It's about starting businesses. It's about feeding families. It's about living your why, living your purpose.
Standing here today feels like a full circle moment, a moment that honors not just an award I received, but a journey that reshaped my life, my leadership, and my vision of impact.
I don't think that there is a single one event which captures the imagination of an investor like an event like this.
I want to see people gain confidence and actually be able to invest in properties and really gain a meaningful impact in their lives and be able with confidence to come out and invest and get more involved in the economy and create opportunities for themselves.
We're so honored. It's such a privilege for us to continue our partnership that we have with SEPN. We are so proud to be able to see some of the achievements that we have had tonight.
Today was so impactful for me as we launched because we saw different levels of winners from the previous Investor of the Year, from beginners, from newcomers, from youth up to big leagues. For me, it's an inspiration to those that were fearful in entering Investor of the Year.
I want to encourage everybody to enter for the 2026 Investor of the Year and just see how your story can be told to the rest of South Africa.
It is phenomenal. The stories that we hear today, and it's so inspiring that this platform helps entrepreneurs
doors open for me, more opportunities, and I just love being a part of the SEPN community.
It was fantastic to listen to the amazing stories that these category winners and contestants shared with all of us. So this is a fantastic journey.
We are so looking forward to 2026 Investor of the Year. We want to see who's going to take away all the prizes and who's going to be the main champion. So please get your entries ready and submit.
Guys, what an evening here at Villa Bianca, the launch of 2026 Investor of the Year. We have partners, sponsors, previous entrants, even future entrants entering. This is such a great initiative for all South Africans in the property space. So I urge you, take that next step into Investor of the Year, build your profile, because remember, credibility meets opportunity. It's not always who you know, it's who knows you.
Good afternoon, ladies and gents, and welcome to the Investor of the Year live judging, more round one judging. Super excited to be joined by all of you. Please let me know down in the comment section down below who you are, where you're joining from, and who you'll be rooting for. We've got two lovely individuals that will be presenting the opportunity shortly. Let me know where you're joining from. I see Alani in the comment section. Good afternoon, Alani. Let me know the rest of you. And we're super excited to be going towards another year, another edition of the Investor of the Year. And this year, we are going towards September at Divine Sunset West. So it's going to be a beautiful evening. And the theme for this year's competition is where credibility meets opportunity. And it's not always about who you know, but who knows you. So thank you so much for joining us to once more to the judging session. My name is Daniel Kazadi. I'm a property developer, but for this competition purposes, for the next hour, I'm going to be one of the judges judging the two contestants that will be joining us shortly. So I'm super excited to be with you. I do see a couple of people are in the comment section as well. So like I said, this is the Investor of the Year 2026 with the theme where credibility meets opportunity. And this is the fifth edition of the competition, the fifth time we are running this competition. So we started back in 2018, for those of you that do not know, where the overall winner was Mr. Robin Booth down in Cape Town with a phenomenal student accommodation as well as Airbnb deal that he ran back then. Then the next competition was in 2019, where Dana Bonsai was the overall winner for the competition down in Bloem. 2021 was Mr. Darren Francis. For those of you that do not know Darren, please do check our previous episodes at Beyond the Deal. We had a sit down with Mr. Darren Francis. For 2024, the last Investor of the Year, the overall winner was none other than Mrs. Patricia Chitema, the first female winner of the competition, and she's going to be the judge for the said competition as well, one of our judges for this afternoon as well. And then 2026 could be your year. Please do enter the Investor of the Year competition. If you, ladies and gents, have done a property deal, no matter how big, how small the property deal is, you can enter the competition by scanning the QR code on your screens right now, or you can visit our website at www.investoroftheyear.co.za. And whether it's a small opportunity, a big opportunity, there is going to be different categories, from the beginner category, where you've got your very first, if you've done your very first property deal. And then there's intermediates, that's the category where individuals have done a large amount of deals in a short space of time. And then there's the big league transactions where people are doing developments and bigger deals. And the beauty of it being categories, ladies and gents, is you are competing with people that are in the same lane as you. So you do not need to be a massive developer to enter the competition. If you are a massive developer, you can enter and you'll be put in the big leagues. But if you are doing your first deal, you can also enter. So please enter, please nominate individuals to enter the said competition as well. And the overall winner for the competition, number one, gets a luxurious stays at one of the best lodges in the country. You get it for a weekend away, valued at 10,000 Rand. But I'm super excited to go live with the main winner, ladies and gents, of the competition. The prize will be a cash prize of 100,000 Rand. So you get a cash prize of 100,000 Rand if you do win and you are the overall Investor of the Year. So please enter as well. And just to get a bit more house rules out of the way, we are going to be having regional road shows in your local city. So please do keep informed with the different events we'll be having. On the 7th of May, we're going down to Nelspruit for an Investor of the Year roadshow. On the 13th, we're going to be down in Pretoria. On the 27th of May, we're wrapping up our May roadshow with a trip in Bloemfontein together with our sponsors, and I'll talk about that a bit later on. On the 10th, we're going to Durban. On the 24th of June, we're going down to Cape Town, and then the 15th of July, we're ending the roadshow with a trip down in Johannesburg. So please do keep informed and inform yourself when we're coming to your local city as well. So the first, I think, sponsor and overall headline sponsor for this year's competition, ladies and gents, is none other than Absa Bank. Because they want to be hearing investor stories, because all of your stories matter, not just about how you made money, but the difficulties you had to go through to execute on these opportunities. So a big thank you to Absa for being the headline sponsor for the competition. We do have a list of other sponsors that have joined us, from BSA Law to TAL Africa, Sapin Prepaid, the SA Property Investors Network, Umastandi, Tough for Inner City Development and Financing, Lightstone, Auction Inc., Business Partners, SA Host, as well as Framework integrated solutions. But I'll talk about, if you are out there and you do want to join and be one of the sponsors for the competition, a bit later on, I will be talking about how you can be a sponsor. And like I said, ladies and gents, enough of house rules. We are here to go through the actual judging, because two individuals will be judged this afternoon, and I'll introduce them a bit later on. But before they come up, I'm going to be introducing some of the judges that will be judging these two individuals. The first judge will be none other than one of our own, Colette. I'm going to bring up Colette now to just introduce yourself. Say, how's it, Colette? Are you out there?
Hi, Daniel, and the rest of SA, welcome. Just a quick introduction. My name is Colette Swiggers. I'm with Bruno Samau Attorneys. I am a conveyancer notary and attorney, and absolutely thrilled to be here to see what these two contestants have in store for us.
Thank you so much, Colette. We appreciate you setting time. And the next judge, ladies and gents, is going to be none other than Mrs. Patricia Chidema. Patricia is a former Investor of the Year winner in the year 2024, but I'll let her tell you all a bit about her. Patricia, are you out there?
I am here, and oh wow, what a full circle moment as the winner of the last Investor of the Year, and today sitting here as one of the judges, seeing all the beautiful journeys that each and every contestant is bringing. I know how it feels. I know how it felt during my journey, and I know it's going to be more exciting as you move towards the end. Just continue to enjoy this journey. Let the people around you hype you up so that the journey can even be more beautiful. I am Patricia Chidema, as Daniel have already said. I cannot wait to engage with you during the presentation of your project. And I believe that it's going to be a beautiful moment this afternoon. Thank you.
We appreciate you, Patricia, and appreciate your time. And the final judge, ladies and gents, for this afternoon is none other than the CEO of Re Magazine, our partner for the Investor of the Year, none other than Mr. Neil Peterson. Sir, are you out there?
Absolutely. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Wonderful. Okay, no, sorry, I just came off a webinar now. So, yeah, no, wonderful. Thank you. My name is Neil Peterson. I'm essentially the founder of Real Estate Investor. We started off as a print magazine in 2007, and we actually used to do a number of live events. In fact, I'm very close to Investor of the Year because I actually partnered initially with Sapin in 2018. And Sapin has really taken it to the next level where they've expanded it, and they've done a fantastic job, and really excited in terms of the level that Sapin has taken this. And for you as the investor, I think it is such a massive opportunity. So first of all, I'm a private investor myself. So I know exactly where you're sitting. I know what you're thinking. I know I can smell a deal from a mile away. I used to work on the back of a cigarette box. I mean, things have changed now. There's a lot more technology that you can use. But certainly that was the old way that investors used to do, not necessarily. I'm not a smoker. So, but anyway, so I'm really excited by this, and I welcome each and every single one of you. As Patricia said, you know, being a participant in this is really, it's absolutely, your career could change significantly. And it's just wonderful being part of Daniel and the team. And I look forward to hearing your stories, and because that's what I do. I write about those stories, which we feature in Real Estate Investor magazine. I write it online. We do webinars, and we're doing one next week, by the way. So come and join us as well for Investor of the Year. We're going to be doing. Daniel will be there. I know he will be there along with the rest of it. So great. Thank you very much, Daniel, for the opportunity.
Appreciate it. It's going to be a joy. So, ladies and gents, we are now going to go on to meet the actual contestants for this afternoon. But before we do that, please do like, comment, subscribe, share this video with some of your friends, and help us get the Investor of the Year competition out there. So without further ado, ladies and gents, I'm going to bring on the contestants. Just some rules. The contestants have 15 minutes to go through their opportunity. and the deal that they will be entering for the said competition. And then the judges will have 5 minutes to ask any questions that they do require to make their call. And all the results will be shared next week, not on the stream, unfortunately. It will be shared next week to understand who has made it. And please do join us. It's going to be around the same time, and we're going to be talking to next week. We're going to be having Rob T do the reveal with us. So without further ado, ladies and gents, I'm going to bring on the first contestant for the said competition, which will be none other than Mr. Michael Brink. Mr. Michael, are you out there?
Hi, Daniel. Yes, I'm here and ready for the presentation.
Perfect. So what we'll do is I'm just going to put everyone else in the background. So like I said,
Hi, Daniel. Can we start? Oh, sorry.
Yeah, you can start.
Okay. Are you going to the next slides, or you can go back to the first slide again? Okay. So, hi, Daniel. Sorry, I'm just a bit confused. Yeah. Hi, Daniel. Can you hear me? Hi, Daniel. So I'm struggling to reach you. I'll just do a quick introduction of myself. So my name is Michael Brink. I've entered the Property Investor of the Year with SAPN. I'm very excited for it and excited to see what's going to happen. So yeah, I'm a full-time real estate agent working in the property business, but also a full-time property investor. I'm based in Potchefstroom. My main focus is I only focus on student accommodation for now because there's a very big opportunity there. My first property investment was done at the end of 2020 or the start of 2021. It was a student house in Potch. And then since I've done that, invested, it sparked an interest in property in my life. So from there, basically, I always had an interest in property. I was looking for the next deals. But also it gave, like I said, it sparked the interest that I wanted to work in the business as well, which, and I made the transition to a real estate agent in the middle of 2022. And it's been now 4 years as a full-time real estate agent. And like I said, in 2022, I also did my second property investment. And from there, it was just a snowball effect with more deals coming, more opportunities coming, my basically affordability getting bigger, my network getting bigger, which allowed me to be able to do more deals. So we can go to the next slide, then I'll start presenting the deals that I have for you guys. You guys can go to the next slide. I'm not seeing it here from my side. Okay, there we go. So this is deal number one. It's 84 Maria Street in Potchefstroom. The house here, basically, I bought as a student house to keep for cash flow purposes. So how I found the deal, I was working as a real estate agent, and a property owner in Potch contacted me and said that he wanted to sell his property. Now the property was used as a creche, like a preschool for kids, and it was relatively close to the university. His wife passed away and he couldn't manage it on its own. So like I said, the relationship the opportunity came through relationships that I built over time. So initially I put the property in the market as an agent just to sell it. It was not something that I was focused on. You guys can go to the next slide. But as the property was in the market, I was at that stage of time also looking for a good deal, specifically for a student house, and I didn't find any deals that's on the market. And this property stuck with me the whole time, and I knew that it had potential, and I had advisors that told me it's a bit too risky, but every time I ran the numbers, the deal just made sense. And since I couldn't find any other good deals, I decided to pull the trigger on this property. So basically, we bought the property for 1.3 million rand, and we converted it into a student house that can take 22 students. You can go to the next slide. So, yeah, like I said, the purchase price was 1.3 million. We got a 100% loan on it from Standard Bank. But the challenge was to raise the capital for this project. So the people that I used to do the renovations gave me a quote of 650,000 rand. At that stage of time, I did not have that money available, so I needed to make a plan how I can finance the renovations from that. The one properties that I bought earlier, we was in process of selling. So I knew that I could use the profits from the sale of that property to pay for the renovations of this one. So I made a special arrangement with the contractor that I said, okay, I will only pay him once the work is completed, but it is dependent on the sale of this property. But to make it worth it for them, I said the 650,000 rand that I owe them can bear interest each month until I pay the full amount. Which allowed me to do this deal. You can go to the next slide. So, like I said, this allowed me to move forward with the project without any immediate capital outlay. So the timing did stretch. The property that needed to sell to pay for the renovations, that property transfer took about another 7 months. So it only registered in August end of July, August. So that's when I could have paid the contractor. So it was interest for those months. So I ended up paying the contractor that 747,494.70. But the structure made it possible to secure and execute the deal that would have otherwise not been feasible. So you guys are going to see with the numbers now, it's a very, very profitable investment. You guys can go to the next slide. So here we can have a look at the numbers. So the purchase price was 1.3 million with a 100% bank loan. We needed to do some structure, security and electrical work, which is about 62K. Then the property needed to be renovated, plus it was the rezoning cost to rezone it for student housing. That was about 822,000. Then it was the bond attorney and the transfer fees, which is about 40,000. You'll see it's a bit low. So I have a special agreement with a bond attorney in Potchefstroom that he does my personal property transactions basically at cost. So the prices are very low. In return, as a real estate agent, I try and give him a lot of business. So it's a good relationship that I have with him. Then like I said, it's a student house, so it needs to be furnished for according to the NSFAS regulation. So for 22 students, the furniture was about 121,000 Rand. And then it gives you the total acquisition cost of this property was 2.346 million. And if I were to sell it now, we're looking at a conservative estimate value of 4.4 million. So the cash flow on this property is very good. You'll see after the bond and expenses, it puts about 50,000 Rand per month in my pocket. This is for this year's figures. Last year it was just about over 40,000 Rand per month, and you can see it's 600,000 Rand per year. If you go look at the net ROI on this investment, this is after all the running expenses. That's electricity, municipal costs, all of that. So if you take the purchase price, the total acquisition cost, the income minus the expenses, the net ROI comes down to 32%. So this is one of the best deals that I've done so far as a property investor. So that's why it's also the first one that I want to present to the judges today. You guys can go to the next slide. So before I go into deal number 2, for property to enter the competition, they said I can present all my deals for the past 2 years relatively. Now, in the past 18 months, I've been very fortunate to have done close to 20 deals. So for the sake of time, I don't have time to present all 20 deals online. So I just took 3 of my favorite deals to present to you guys. So this is deal number 2. This is 29 Goud Street. So the strategy was to buy it, hold it, and sell it again at the right time. The opportunity came through another agent posting it on Property 24. I identified the property immediately, and I submitted like an offer within the first 2 hours of the property hitting the market. Now the build in Potchefstroom is highly competitive, especially for well-located properties. So on the same day the property hit the market, there was also 2 other competing offers that was competing with mine. But I had an advantage because I put in an offer first, and it allowed me to negotiate and secure the deal before other buyers can also gain traction. So I would say the speed and decisiveness and market awareness made the difference on this deal. You guys can go to the next slide. So this was also a defining deal with me. It was also the first time that I needed to raise capital from someone else for all the cost. I needed to put down a 10% deposit, also the renovations and the rezoning. So the investor that I had that invested to me was someone close to me. It was my dad. So he saw the previous projects that I did. So he trusted me to invest part of his retirement capital into this deal. So obviously it raised the stakes significantly for me. There was no room for error, but it also was the start of bringing investors into my property journey. So just to summarize this deal, the property was purchased as a normal family home and was converted into a 10-bed student house consisting of 4 single rooms and 3 sharing rooms, making it 10 beds in total. You can go to the next slide. You guys can go to the, thank you. So just the financials, the purchase price was 850,000 Rand. The renovations was about 250. Then there was additional costs like rezoning, furniture, and legal fees. We'll see the exact numbers in the next slide. The timeline, it was basically the offer was made on the 9th of September. It registered in my name on the 12th of December 2024. The renovations was done between December and January 2025, and then the first tenants were placed on the 1st of Feb 2025. This property is now fully NSFAS accredited and operating as a successful student accommodation asset. You guys can go to the next slide. So just to have a look at the numbers, purchase price 850. Part of the purchase price was a 10,000 Rand, a 10% deposit, which was 85,000. So the renovations was 250,000. The rezoning was 80,000. So that total cost was 330. The attorney fees was 41,000 plus minus furniture 94,500, bringing the total cost to 1.316 million. The valuation of it, I'll say, is 1.975. But the property is also in process of being sold for that 1.975. So the cash flow on this deal was, last year we made about 12,600 per month, bring it to a total of 151,000 Rand per year. And then the profit on the sale after selling it was 655,000. The net ROI is 18.79%. You guys can go to the next slide. So just to summarize this deal, I know many people will have the question, why did you sell the property if the numbers look so good? So it's just how I approach the student market in Port. So this year in 2026 is the first time we saw an oversupply of NSFAS and student accommodation, which allowed increased vacancies that we haven't seen previous years. So at the same time, there's also significant developments underway, which continue to increase the supply and competition. So it's going to impact the older, lower spec student housing. Now, this house, it's not a lower spec student house. It's still it's in a good location. The students like to stay. Yes, I am confident that it will remain full for the future years. But with the conditions in Port, it creates both risk and opportunity. Sorry, Daniel, can you just go back to the previous slide again? But just to summarize the deal again, so our strategy in Port is we buy well, we optimize this cash flow so we keep it for 1 to 3 years, and then we exit when the right buyer or timing aligns. And you can go to the next slide. The reason for that is if there is a dramatic shift in the NSFAS market or in the student accommodation market in Port, it doesn't help us sit with 150 beds and then 1 year the market has a dip and then it basically bankrupts myself. So we are always on the move. We're looking for good new deals. If we find a good offer on our current properties, we sell it for a good profit. Those profits is then again reused on other future deals. So it's basically flipping houses, keeping houses for positive cash flow. It's just to stay dynamic and adaptable. The advantage that I had here is I stayed close to market movements. I managed my risk and exposure and positioned my properties to sell to the right buyers at the right time. You guys can go to the next slide. Okay, so this is the final deal that I'm gonna quickly run through. It's a smaller one that we are still in the process of doing. So it's an apartment. So I found the deal also through another agent on Property 24. I immediately recognized the complex. It's an older complex but it's in a prime location. The unit itself was in a poor condition. We created the opportunity to get it at a good price. Usually people see this properties and they see no potential there, but that's actually where the value lies. You guys can go to the next slide, thanks. So on the same day this property came in the market, we identified the property, immediately submitted the offer, and secured the deal before any competitor or someone else could get it. So speed and market knowledge made the difference over here. You can go to the next slide, thanks. So this deal, just the overview, it was done. This is the deal that I did in a partnership with a colleague of mine. So it was 50-50 shareholding, and we're also both directors of this. The strategy here was from the start, we wanted to buy apartments, basically add value and sell them again for a profit. So because this was an older building, it's a very, very large one-bedroom apartment with a large living room. So after the conversions, we converted it into a 3-bedroom unit, accommodating 3 single rooms for NSFAS students. So the timeline on this was the property registered in our name last year on the 13th of August. We did the conversions over December and January, and the first tenants was placed this year at the end of January. Yeah, you can go to the next slide, please. So over the initial value was to add value and exit, freeing up, like I said, capital for larger opportunities. But the outcome gave us strong flexibility. So we have a strong cash flow on the property. It's a cash flow positive deal. The apartment was bought for 350,000 Rand, and we found a buyer that was willing to buy it for 820,000 Rand early Feb. The property is currently in the transfer process at the deeds office, where we are expecting it to register in the next 2 to 3 weeks. Then we'll have our profit from it as well. You'll see the exact numbers in the next slide. You guys can go to the next slide. So like I said, purchase price was 350,000 Rand. We got 100% loan on it. The renovations was about 59,000. Attorney and bond fees 35,000. Furniture was 14, bringing the total cost to basically just under 460,000 Rand. We sold that property for 820,000 Rand. So the profit on the deal was 360,000 Rand. If we just decided to keep the property, then the monthly cash flow after the bond and all the expenses will be about 3,800 Rand per month. And if you go look at the net ROI for this deal, it was 19.08%. Then you guys can go to the next slide. So all 3 deals above were done through companies. So every property that we buy in the name of a company. The deal 1 and 2, I was both 100% shareholder and director for the companies that bought the properties. Deal number 3, like I said, was a 50% shareholding with joint directorship with my colleague. The reason we buy it in companies is for tax efficiency, for scalability, and for the affordability and ease of funding. So it doesn't put a cap on us or a limit on us for future deals. I know that a trust structure can be a safer thing if you want to protect your assets and ring fence it. But the reason we don't use a trust, we don't want to overcomplicate things when it's not needed. So all the properties that we buy, like I said, there's no long-term plan for it. I think the maximum years that we'll keep a property is probably for 10 years before selling it again. So for that reason, a trust structure is not used. The student market is dynamic with changing conditions year on year. So that's why we just only buy it in a company name with us being shareholders. You guys can go to the final slide. So my approach is to remain strategic, not emotional. Student accommodation is currently a high-performing asset class, and I'm actively capitalizing on the opportunity while continuously monitoring risk, supply, and market shifts. I stay flexible in my investment strategy, allowing me to adapt quickly as the market evolves. This is not the end goal, it's the foundation. So also, one thing that gives me advantage is know sometimes people do a lot of due diligence before buying a property. In Porch, unfortunately, you don't have the luxury to do research 2 months or a month or a week before buying a good deal because it will sell then. But because I work as a real estate agent, I'm involved with properties every single day of my life. So when a property hits the market, I know whether it's a good deal or not. Like Neil said, you can smell a deal from a mile away. That's sometimes definitely the advantage that I can make an offer on a property before even viewing it, because I know the area, I know what deals are good and what deals are not good. I do my due diligence. I work in the industry, so that gives me a massive advantage to move quickly when the opportunity is there. And yeah, that's basically all from my side. I thank the judges for their time. Daniel, Colette, Patricia, and Neil, thank you for being online with us. And yeah, I welcome any questions.
Awesome. Thank you so much. First of all, congratulations, Michael, on the work done, the creativity done. So I've got a question, and then I'll open the floor to my colleagues and judges as well. Firstly, like I said, congratulations. Definitely not easy task executing on all of these projects. So I like a good exit, but I think my question will come in on the side of, so you've obviously have an entity with different business partners for different projects. How do you cater for, because life happens, right? Exits of shareholders. What perimeters did you put in for, number one, forced exits, so death of a shareholder? Have you thought of that when entering into business? And yeah, life happens. If a shareholder wants to exit one of your opportunities, what measures have you put in place to mitigate against that risk?
So currently, the opportunities that I'm a part of where there is shareholders involved, we have had the discussions beforehand. So most of the opportunities that we have shareholders is where we buy a place, convert it, and then the goal is to sell it again at a profit. So it's not a asset that we're keeping for the long term. At this current stage of time, all the student houses that I have that I'm planning on keeping, I'm the only director and shareholder of that property, or the company that owns the property. The people that put in capital into those deals, I make a loan agreement with them where they get paid back with interest or whatever the agreement is, but they're not a shareholder of the company or the property. So that's for the properties that I plan on keeping. The ones so far that I'm doing with shareholders, where it's like I said, 50-50, we decide beforehand clearly, okay, we're buying this property, it's going to cash flow until it's sold again. So we have a certain price point at which it must sell, we make our profits, and we move on.
Okay, cool. I'm going to open the floors to the rest of my colleagues. Patricia, Neil, Colette, anyone wants to go first?
Yeah, so Michael, I actually know Michael, and so well done on doing those deals. Fantastic. Those numbers are exceptional. Well done. And yeah, so I'm just amazed that you're so focused in that one area of Potch, and you seem to have that area sort of really sussed out. So my big question to you, and it's also related to what Daniel said, is, and it's quite interesting, you're in a very dynamic space with a student accommodation in South Africa. And I just had on the webinar before, we were talking about student accommodation in South Africa with some of the institutions. I mean, for example, there's Eris Properties, they own 10,000 units. And they're going to get institutional funding, and their target is to break into Northwest where you are, and in fact, it's a national rollout. So my question to you is, and I noticed you sort of stay in for 3 years and you exit and that kind of thing. What is the long-term game for you? Do you see yourself staying in this space, or do you see yourself maybe diverting to something very different here? Because I mean, you're doing some exceptional numbers. Some people buy and they keep that property forever, and they say never ever sell. Keep it and live on the cash flow forever. And it seems like after 3 years, you're saying, no, wait, I want to get out and I want to move on to something else. Maybe just explain, what is that big end goal?
So, like you mentioned, Neil, there is some big guys entering different markets all over the country with student accommodation. So that's the thing that I always keep in the back of my mind. If I buy a deal and convert it, I know that the worst case scenario, if I sell the property, it will break even, that I didn't lose money or make money. But most of the times, there is, if it's a house, I'm looking at least 500,000 profit that I can make on a deal for it's where it's still profitable for someone else to buy it and to put money into it. So the deals that I go for is there is an exit strategy. If I need to sell it again, it won't be hard to sell. I can sell it where someone else makes very good money, and I still make a little bit of profit on it. So the exit will never be hard if there's a major shift. But like you said, if the big guys come into a city like Poch and the game changes there, it's that's why as a real estate agent I work with investors. I stay in the town, so I will be able to see what's going to happen beforehand, that I can sell the properties at the right time, make my profits and move on. Those profits is, for at this stage of time, the profits that I make is reinvested into new deals. Also student accommodation. What I focus on now more is apartments that is converted into this was accommodation very, very close to the university. That even when a big partner comes and he puts up a building, that though because of the good location that I have, I know it's places that will still be competitive, even though there's a lot of other developments. But the student houses or the things that's a bit more risky, if I make profit from them for 3 to 4 years, cash flow wise, and I sell it for a profit, then I've made my profit as a businessman, as an entrepreneur, and then that
Yeah.
profit is reinvested again where the next opportunity is. It's not like I'm going to be in student accommodation forever. If the next wave to ride is maybe Airbnb or it's something else, low cost housing, then we tackle that opportunity. So it depends on what the opportunity will be. For now, I feel there is a good wave of student accommodation. So I'm going to ride that wave until I see the wave is going to crash. Then we obviously exit and move on to the next opportunity.
Perfect.
Okay, maybe I can come in here. In the interest of time, Colette, sorry, do you mind if we just hear from Patricia, and then Colette, you get the first stab at the next investor, hey?
Perfect.
Thank you, and hello, Michael. It's good to see you here. I remember you. I met you at the launch of the Investor of the Year 2026, and I'm so happy to see you here as one of the contested coming in for this beautiful competition. I also love that you don't use your heart to invest in these things, in these properties, or in making your decisions. You use your head. You know that my intention here is to make money, and if I believe that at this moment in time that is no longer the case, you are not scared to move ahead or to move forward to the next opportunity. And that, I think, that is the greatest lesson that investors must start learning, because so many of us, we continue to hold on at our loss. I think I've really learned a lot from there. But I want to understand these houses. I know that there's also a small market of students that will never stay in any big accommodation. I've got small houses around UJ, Auckland Park. They will never go. Even if they're paying cash and they have 5,000 and they can afford 7,000 cash, they will not go. They will always go to the small houses. They want to feel like home and all of that. How far are these houses that you are disposing during a short space of time? Aren't they well positioned enough to perhaps look at that market also?
Yeah, so that's one of my rule of thumbs. I will never buy a property that's on location too risky. The first deal, that 22 bed student one, that one is about 1.5 kilometers from the main gate of the Northwest University. But the good news is it's very close to other tertiary institutions like Vuselela College, Eduvos, Boston College, a nursing school. So I mitigate my risk when choosing areas that I know, okay, if it doesn't work for the Northwest University, it can still cater for other places. The second one is about 1.2 k's from the Northwest University. That one is mainly focused on NSFA students, but it can work for private tenants as well. And then the final one, the apartment that we flipped, that one is about 500 meters from the main gate. So it's on a prime location we're selling it now, but that's one of the things that I do. I don't take risk on location. It must be a place that there is a plan B or C if something goes wrong.
Love that. Love that, really. Yeah.
Thanks, Patricia.
Okay, no, awesome. Thank you so much, Michael. So, ladies and gents, if you do want to find out if Michael has made it to the next round, please do join us next week, where we will be announcing. But as always, please like, comment, subscribe. I do note there is a question, but in the interest of time, I'd like us to bring the next contestant, Mr. Jacques. I'm going to bring him up shortly. Michael, thank you so much, Mr. Jacques. We're going to start the share shortly, but as I stated, if you want to go to the next slide, you can just give the instruction and we'll go to the next slide. But over to you, sir.
Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for involving me in this wonderful competition. Michael, you're running an awesome operation in Potch, and may you be blessed. Yeah, so I've traveled quite a journey in the property market. I actually started out as a professional rugby player, and in 2004 I had a bad leg break, which actually forced me into business, where I started the aluminium business with a friend of mine. And in that time, I saw there was quite some money to be made in the property game. And in 2005, I started my first spec house. Buying a piece of land in an area called Willowbrook Estate here in the West Rand. And at that stage, we still got 100% bonds for land and stand. And in that time, we did the house, we built it and made quite a couple of rand. And I thought, okay, this is where I want to be. And then over a couple of years, we managed to do about over 50 spec houses in the different estates here in the West Rand, Featherbrook, Ramsar Golf Estate, Ramsar Country Estate, Pinehaven Country Estate, Willowbrook. We did a couple more, and it turned out quite well. And then about 6-7 years ago, I've started doing full turnkey construction on townhouse complexes and sectional title space, building for developers. You know, getting the land in from them, giving them a full turnkey tender. Where we start off by doing the bulk earth, the demolishing, the internal services, the roads, starting the brickwork out right to the finishes, and actually handing over keys to the different buyers. I also manage the professionals, you know, the engineers, the project managers, the NHBRC, the council issues, the council, the connections. Right to the building inspectors coming out for the inspections. I'm the owner of Axaria Group. We're currently doing sectional title developments for ourselves, and in 2024 we actually started with our first one. Daniel, I think you can jump to the next slide. So the one you guys and ladies are seeing on the screen there was my baby. It's my first own development. This one was financed through Absa, and the reason I called it the Mianai is it's my daughter's name, and I promised her the moment Daddy starts to develop for himself, I'm going to name the complex after her. It's 21 sectional title apartments in Edenburg, Sandton, just off Rivonia Road, and we sold there for between 1,550 and 1.6 million, and that one was sold out a few months ago. And yeah, made a good success out of that one. Daniel, you can skip. So originally when we started with this site is I sourced the land. I actually got a couple of property experts in the Joburg area sourcing development land that's ready. And the reason I buy the land that's ready, obviously you pay much more of a premium. But at least all the town planning issues have been sorted, all the zoning has been done. You can literally just plug and play, pay your contributions, and then you can build. And then you can get into the ground much quicker. And then it's from there just to get the funding. The moment the funding is sorted, then you must push for the sales. And we sold the complex out. And yes, I've got a solid operations team on site. a solid team in the office running the numbers, doing the finances, the orders. And yeah, we actually delivered a quite magnificent project in Sandton. Very proud of it. You can skip, Daniel. The total project value was in and around 30 million rand. Like I said previously, it's fully sold out, and the profit we took there was in and around 5 million rand after all costs and that implications have been sorted out. You can skip, Daniel. Now this is the one we are actually launching in the next 2 weeks. Very proud of this site. It's called Tritos. It is the Greek term for third. I'll actually tell you about my second development after this one. I see we haven't put it into the profile though, but let's start off on Tritos. It's situated at Earth 173 Bryanston Drive, and according to me, it's one of the most amazing stands or pieces of land I've ever acquired. There we got zoning for 47 sectional title units, and quite interesting, the zoning has been split up into 31 two-bedroom units and 16 one-beds. Which makes this quite amazing is the fact that you cater for the market between 1 million and 1.1 million rand on the one beds, and then between 1.8 and 2 million rand for the two beds. This complex will have a gym. It will have full-time water backup. Each unit comes with a 5 kVA inverter, solar geyser, and a gas hob, which makes it a standout complex in the area. And just the way it's positioned, it's quite amazing. I think my architect did an amazing job, a great job by designing these units. And they're nice and spacious. The one beds is just under 40 squares, and the two beds are just under 80 squares. Top finishes, Caesar stone tops, colored cupboards, aluminium windows, aluminium showers. I'm very confident that this one is going to shoot the lights out. We've already got about 12 sales on it by just our investor pool that buys from us, and we're very excited. And everyone must come to the launch end of May. You can skip, Daniel. So how we got to our pricing on this site is we actually looked at a couple of developments in and around the area. Look, Bryanston is always one of your top areas to sell in, and with it being 15 minutes away from the Sandton CBD, our main aim is obviously for the young investor or the investor buyer, and then the people that just want to scale down to a lock up and go. And we literally 4 minutes from William Mandela Drive and about 15 minutes down to Sandton CBD. So yeah, we're very excited about making this one work. Also with the rental component on the investor buyers, they're going to be very close to a break even after the first year and a half on having this magnificent investment. So we're looking forward to starting this one. We're actually moving on to site in the next week. So one of these days you'll see a nice building coming up in Bryanston Drive. You can skip this one. So yes, there's the actual unit layout. Like I said, my architect has done a magnificent job here. If you just look at the spacious kitchen, dining room area, nice big patio. You know, South Africans want a braai. Each unit has got a nice 1 meter wide braai in it. What makes this site so nice is the fact that the main bedroom, as well as the dining room or TV lounge, has got access onto the patio. Ensuite bathroom for the main bed, and the cupboard space. If you look at the cupboard space there, it's much bigger than your normal two-bed developments. Also a very nice feature in this home is the overflow countertop, which basically gives you the dining room effect. Although those units are too small to put in the dining room, you can actually have 4 people sitting behind the overflow counter in order to use that as a dining room facility as well. Michael, you can skip. Here's our lock up and go one bed unit. I think the design here is just amazing, and the fact that he's got his own little Juliet balcony gives it so much volume. On all our sites, we normally lift the roof brickwork by between 4 and 6 courses. That also helps us to give us a bit of volume. And this one is ideal for the investor buyer, a great rental yield, and a superb lock up and go. You can skip, Michael. Yeah, there's just an artist's impression. This has never been done before, and Absa would like to build a brand, and I'm pretty sure that this look and feel of this development will be our brand going forward. I love the red face print in between the plaster, the white and the grey. Always a winner. Thank you, Michael. So the projected profit on this one is in and around 11 million rand. That's worked very conservatively though. So who knows, maybe if the first 20 or 25 units fly out the window, we can always bump up the price and add a few rand to that bottom line. That'll be first price. Thank you, Michael. So there's the selling price of these units. They range from between 999 up until 1949 million. And like I say, if you work your numbers on the rentals, you can easily break even by year 1, end of year 2, as it is a very low maintenance complex. And our managing agents have come in at a great price in terms of the levies and the management fee of this magnificent development. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Jacques. What a phenomenal presentation and opportunity. Hey? We have been here for quite some time, so I'm going to jump straight into questions. We're going to start with Colette, as well as Patricia, and then Mr. Neil Peterson.
Okay, so just from the bat, Jacques, this looks absolutely amazing. Both deals are exquisite. And I would like to be at the launch. Thank you very much. Send my ticket.
It's on its way.
Just one thing with regards to, obviously, you almost want investors buy-in. Are you, and with the creation of the sectional title, development, and do you cater or allow, when you do the establishment of the body corporate rules and conduct, will you be allowing short-term accommodation, in that specific complex, so that you do have investors buy in, for instance, Airbnb in your complexes?
Yes, Colette, you're touching a very good point there. Actually, on all three of my developments, Titos being the one that's going to get out the blocks now, my managing agent has incorporated Airbnb into the rules of the body corporate, which makes it quite viable. Look, I haven't dug deep enough into the whole Airbnb number thing, but from what I can say, from what I heard from quite a few guys in the market, it's an extremely profitable business. So I'll always keep 2 or 3 of the development units myself. So I might also want to look into doing 1 or 2 Airbnbs.
Yeah. So, and I love the fact that you included the Braai area. You are a true South African. Love that. I love that. I must say, the fact that you incorporated that, especially in Bryanston and Sandton, it's an absolute. But yeah, from overall, it looks great. The numbers making sense. The fact that you're buying property that is basically ready to break ground is a very smart move, because to get to the development point takes a lot of effort and a lot of manpower and patience. And the fact that even if you buy in a little bit higher for property that you can develop right away, that's a very, very smart way to go about.
Thank you. Yeah, I know some of the seasoned developers, the bigger guys, they can afford to buy farmland or agricultural land and put it through the motions, and then you actually start to make serious money. But where I'm at the moment, getting out the blocks as a new developer, I want to basically buy and get my TLBs in to start working.
Absolutely. Patricia, do you have any questions for Jock?
Yes, I do. I've got about 3, but the first one, quick. I did not see your return on investment on the first development. If you can just remind me that. And
It was, hi Patricia, it was
Hi.
in and around 5 million rand, which comes to around about 16%, if my maths doesn't drop me here.
All right. And how long did it take you to sell this development? It looked well positioned, beautifully designed. At times, because of the market, we do struggle to sell when we do build and sell. You are sold out. How long did it take you?
So yes, you are right on the money there. Sales is the biggest challenge and trigger in our business at this stage, because if you don't sell, you can't build. Okay, and especially with the finance structures from the banks, you know, they require a certain amount of pre-sales, which normally cover the building part of the loan. So what we do is I purchase the actual land cash, and I do the contributions cash, and then the bank will basically fund the services and the top structure. On the first one, the Millionaire, I actually took 6 months to get to my 15 pre-sales, because that was Absa's requirement on the 15. And what we've actually done is within 3 months of the site, things were slow. So what I did is I demolished the house, I did all the bulk earth levels, and I put a wall around the complex. And suddenly, with some movement and some activity on site, the people actually started buying. And then the moment we started building, then the people just came to site. Because most people, 90% of people out there that's not in property, can't envisage or visualize a built product. But now they come on a Sunday, they can actually see, okay, my bed will fit, my lounge suite will fit, my TV's going to fit in the wall, and then the sales start to come. Look, the first prize will obviously be if the bank can loan us money, we can just build and finish and then sell. But that's an ideal world. So yeah, it took me 6 months on the first one, and I actually took 4 months on my one that I'm signing off now, called Macarios in Bryanston. And I need another 4 sales on that one as well. Then I'm out of that side as well.
Okay, 6 months is not bad at all. But what are the energy saving measures in these developments? In today's terms, we've got water crisis, electricity.
So all the windows, we've got the low E glass, we've got energy saving downlighters, we've got a 150 litre solar geyser, we've got a gas hob, and then we've got the 5 kVA inverter that we put in for backup. And the reason being for that one is, you know, we actually did a big study on this. Eskom load shedding, and thank God there's no load shedding at the moment, but normally it only works out between 3 and 4 hours normally. But the funny thing is those hours are normally between, say, 4 and 8 o'clock in the evenings, when people want to cook food and they want to help their kids with their homework. So we actually brought in the inverter, and that actually gives you enough electricity to use your TV, your Wi-Fi router, and some of your lights for about a 4-hour period. What we've done now on this next one regarding some green building is we actually installed, we're going to install 4 10,000 litre backup water tanks as well. As most of you know, up until about a year and a half, 2 years ago, water was never an issue. And with the councils taking their time upgrading the water reservoirs, we actually realized that water became actually a bigger problem than electricity. And on my Macario site, people continued, after the 5th person that asked about water backup, I went to install it. So that site all runs on water backup as well now.
Thank you.
Awesome. And then the last one is Mr. Neil Peterson. Sir, any questions for Jacques?
Yeah, most of them are actually answered. I had a question with regards to the sales, but well done, Jacques. I think done fantastically. I actually know quite a few developers.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, I know some developers doing very well there. So I think you've chosen your area very well and everything. So well done. Tell me, what do you reckon is your biggest risk now with that last development that you're launching now?
Look, like I said, it all comes down to sales, Neil. In terms of performing and building, I mean, it doesn't take rocket science to build. If you have your systems in place, you got the thing starts, you need proper professionals on the sites, your engineers, your structural people, your QSs, your architect, your geotechnical engineers. If those things are in place, and you follow protocol and you follow their guidelines and the actual plans that they give you, you cannot go wrong. Look, listen, there's a lot of issues on a site. I mean, if you don't manage it properly, it can go south very quickly, and you can be 3-4 million down with a blink of an eye. And that's why I'm very blessed with my Absa team. You know, they're not the most liked people on site, but they do a very, very good job for me. In terms of challenge on site, like I say, sales is always your challenge. I've actually opened my own real estate business also about 3 months ago, and this will be the first one I'm tackling myself now, wearing the developer hat and the salespeople's hat. And so I used to shout at agents all the time, so now I'm going to shout at my own people.
Awesome. Good. All good.
Jeez, thank you so much, Mr. Jacques. So, ladies and gents, that was the last contestant that presented today.
Thank you, Patricia.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Please enjoy your day. So, ladies and gents, please do join us next week to find out if Mr. Jacques has made it to the next round. A big thank you to our judges, Neil, Colette, Patricia. Thank you so much for making time, for being with us. Just as a final goodbye, do you want to tell everyone where they can find you all?
Okay, so I'll go first. You can find me at Bruno Samau Attorneys. That would be Colette at brunosamaulaw.co.za. Or if you don't know me by now, I'm quite active on the WhatsApp groups. Reach out to me by phone, please.
Awesome, perfect. Mr. Neil Peterson.
Yeah, you just go to rei.co.za, stands for Real Estate Investor. And so we actually update all our news every day. I report on all the stuff regularly and have a beautiful helicopter view of what's going on. And so I feel very much in my comfort zone when I talk to all these people about investing and the markets and the developers and all that. So yeah, it's great to hear and see the success that people are doing. So yeah, thanks very much.
Awesome, thank you, sir. And then lastly, Mrs. Patricia.
You can find me on opalstudents.co.za and all the social media platforms. We also called Opal Students and all of them. We've got a lot of offering for your young people in Johannesburg and in Pretoria. They can stay in an accommodation that will empower them, give them an opportunity to find themselves and be future leaders of influence. So opalstudents.co.za. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Patricia. So, ladies and gents, those are our judges. Thank you so much to every single one of them. In closing off, ladies and gents, you can also still enter for round number 1 of the Investor of the Year Award. Please scan the QR code showing on your screen right now. Today was more the big leagues and Michael being intermediate. But if you are a beginner, you've done your very first deal, you are a big league developer, if you've been in the property industry for some time as well and you've been doing opportunities, you can also join, ladies and gents. Please join the QR code, join by scanning the QR code or visit our website at www.investoroftheyear.co.za. For some of the prizes, ladies and gents, one of our prizes for the overall winner is going to be you get a chance to win a weekend away at one of the most luxurious lodges in the country, sponsored by none other than the SA Property Investors Network. You also get a cash prize, the largest prize money in the history of the Investor of the Year Award, which is the sum of 100,000 Rand, ladies and gents. You heard me right. You win a cash prize of 100,000 Rand. And believe me when I say, just joining the competition, you are able to boost your profile, the confidence levels, and you are able to invest in other opportunities that are going to be much bigger. So, ladies and gents, in closing, please do, if you're joining us on Facebook, please follow our IOTY page. I'm going to get my team to drop the link in the comment section down below. If you are watching on YouTube, please click the like button as well as the subscribe button to keep informed with all things IoTY, because this competition, unlike all the others, we want to take you through the entire journey with us. So you get to meet the contestants still at round number 1, at round number 2, as well as the final event when we are going to be crowning the overall winner. For anyone watching this and they want to be a partner and a sponsor for the competition, you can position yourself as a partner and align yourself with the other leading experts in the industry like Absa Bank. Please do email Alani at sapropertynetwork.com to be part of the competition and to be a partner. But ladies and gents, for me to all of you, thank you so much. Join us next week together with Rob T for an announcement of who will be making it through to round number 2 between Michael as well as Jacques. But you get a chance to also vote. But ladies and gents, thank you so much and see you all